Alright guys, Watchman's Post back at you again. This time there's some breaking news about North Korea. But before I get into that, I want to show you this cool video I found on Twitter. And they're showing Russia actually test firing one of these hypersonic missiles for the first time. You know, it's only been a couple months, I think it was March, when they first announced that they had these hypersonic missiles. And you can get on Twitter and follow these guys, Rupli. It's a Russian source. But they're showing that they fired off one of these hypersonic missiles from one of their jets there. And that it's called the Kinsheil in Russian, or to translate that in English, they call that the Dagger. But it's one of these hypersonic missiles that goes, you know, above the speed of sound. And it goes so fast that you're not going to be able to intercept it. It's one of the things that Russia has just recently come out with and told us that they have, you know, super weapons, and they've got a super torpedo that they said that is going to be a nuclear torpedo that can cause tsunamis. They've got a new ICBM that they're working on, and I may open some of that stuff up and get into that in a bit. But I just want to start off and show you that. But the new breaking news tonight or last night was this bit of information here. It came out and they said that North Korea appears to be building 1 or 2 ICBMs. Now, the last time I talked about North Korea, they the information was coming out that they had just completed a missile factory, a facility that builds missiles. And that was the news then, and we all know, you know, if they got a missile facility going, they're building them. But the bulk of this story here is that they've been flying over and spying or using satellites to spy, and that they've detected that they've seen a truck coming in and out. And this is a different missile facility. The missile facility that was breaking the other day was you know, a new missile facility they had just completed. And this is Reuters. I'm about to try to show you a little information out of there, this article. And remember guys, if you're new, just follow me on Twitter. I'll put the links to my Twitter feed in the YouTube video, and you can come and scroll through this information and find these links. And if you got a Twitter feed, you can share it or share it with your friends. So I cover so many things, I'm not going to give a link to every single one of these things. You have to just come to my Twitter feed and you'll find all kinds of links. You'll find everything I'm covering. But so let me read a little bit of this. And like I said, I may bounce back around to the Russian super weapons and get into lots of different things. But this is the new breaking news. U.S. detects new activity at North Korea factory that built the ICBMs. So, you know, it's been a while since they did any missile tests, but they finally successfully made a intercontinental ballistic missile that can reach the United States, and they call it the Hwasong-15, and it came out of this factory. So the new factory from the last report was a brand new factory just completed, but they've been watching this factory where the original ICBM came from. And it looks like they've had trucks moving in and out, and they're continuing to make intercontinental ballistic missiles. But it says U.S. spy satellites have detected renewed activity at the North Korean factory that produced the country's first intercontinental ballistic missile, capable of reaching the United States. A senior U.S. official said on Monday, in the midst of talks to compel Pyongyang to give up its nuclear arms. So I believe it's Tuesday now, Tuesday morning. So this just came out yesterday. Photos and infrared imaging indicate vehicles moving in and out of the facility at Sannam-dong, but do not show how advanced any missile construction might be. So they've seen trucks coming in and out of this place. They know this is the place where the original ICBM came from. They can't tell, even with the infrared imaging and everything, because the truck was covered. It looks like they had a big truck move out. It possibly could have had a ICBM on it. It was covered, so they're not sure. But you know, all indications are ringing that they pulled something out of there. So they're not sure how advanced it is because it's covered. But I'll keep reading here. The Washington Post reported on Monday that North Korea appeared to be building 1 or 2 liquid-fueled intercontinental ballistic missiles. And they're saying liquid-fueled, and they're assuming, like it says up there, they don't know, at the large research facility on the outskirts of Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea, citing unidentified officials familiar with intelligence reporting. So they're not telling you exactly who's saying this because they got spies out there and they're not going to give away any names or anything. But you know, all them, and you can scroll through my feed, all of the major networks are putting this information out. Reuters is one of the biggest news networks in the world. Here's one from China. It just broke, and Washington Post, and I threw a bunch of them. CNBC. It's you know, mainstream information, verified information that's come out just last night, really. The evidence obtained this month is the latest to suggest the ongoing activity at North Korea's nuclear and missile facilities, despite talks with the United States and a June summit between North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and the U.S. President Donald Trump. And they're going to give you a little bit of backstory. And it's a short little sweet one, and they're saying, you know, even though things in the political world are being put out there to tell us that it's going well, time and time again, every time the intelligence community comes and tells us something, they're saying they're not going to give up stuff, they're hiding stuff. They just completed a new missile facility. The nuclear reactors are rolling at top speed, if not increased speed. And here's another report back from the spies out in the field, and they're saying what? They're moving ICBMs in and out of the original factory there. Nothing's changed. They did give us some bodies back recently, but the joke is with that we asked for 100 and they gave us 50. So every little crumb is a battle with these guys. But I've personally had dreams, and I believe God's telling me that World War III will start with North Korea. I've had dreams that I wake up and my wife's telling me that they're having an emergency broadcast sort of situation, and they're declaring that we hit North Korea first, and it's because of this. It's because they've been doing these things and hiding missiles and I'll show you some more. But I'm telling you, this is the biggest thing you need to watch. God's told me to watch this, and many others. I'll get back to this, and this is another topic. I'm gonna try to stay on topic. This guy here is Steve Herman, and he's a major reporter. You can see right here, it tells a little bit of description. He's works with the White House bureau chief, so he's a reporter at the White House, verified. Big shots, and what's he saying? U.S. spy satellites detect renewed activity at the DPRK, which stands for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, which is, you know, North Korea. They try to claim they're a democracy or something, but when you see DPRK, that means North Korea. And they seen at the factory that produced Korea's first ICBM, capable of reaching North Korea. So they're seeing new activity. And, you know, it's just another guy reporting on the same information there. Let me scroll around and find you some more stuff here. There was several reports on that. This guy is a North Korea expert, and he says the latest news is it makes the hypothesis that the Hwasong 15 program is more likely. It's still going. It's still in missile production, and he's saying that basically at the beginning of the year, Kim Jong-un came out and said that he wasn't going to do any more testing, but they were going to put all their focus on producing these things. And he's saying this is just, you know, more evidence that that's what they're doing. That's basically what he's saying. There's another report on it. There was one guy I seen here. This one's from japantimes.com. And maybe I'll read through it in a second. But follow this guy if you're on Twitter, Global Military Info. His stuff's pretty good. And he went into the report and put some into the headline. And it says, top North Korean officials have discussed the country's intention to deceive the U.S. about the number of nuclear warheads in its possession. So this is the strategy that they're going to try to do. If we make it far enough to actually start a denuclearization process, they're saying this is what the North Korean officials have been talking about, trying to pull the wool on us, and we already know it. And Japan's reporting on it. They're saying they're going to try to they say they have 100. They're going to try to give you 20 and say, okay, we denuclearized, and hide the other, you know, remaining 80 or whatever, and give you a portion and say, okay, we denuclearized, and hold back. Same with facilities. They've got facilities that they haven't even claimed or declared to us. Pompeo asked about one of the facilities, and they said, we don't know about that facility. So if the denuclearization process even makes it into, you know, actually beginning, because it really hasn't even begun, they're going to try to hide some of these nuclear places, give you one or two, and keep some, and claim that they're denuclearized while they still got a factory over there that they never declared to you, and they never shut down. So they're already setting up to play games with us, and Japan's not going to take it. They're really close, and they've been worried not only about these ICBMs but about the mid-range missiles for a long time, because the mid-range missiles can hit them. So they're taking this more serious than anybody else. If they got rid of the ICBMs, they wouldn't be able to touch us. It's not going to happen. They're not going to give it up, and that's why I'm continuing to show you these reports and warn you that they're not going to give it up, and this is going to cause war, World War III. But Japan's taking this really seriously, and they're saying, including potentially declare that they have denuclearized after disposing 20 weapons while retaining dozens more. So let's, you know, you can find this article on my Twitter page, and come and find it for yourself, and make a video for your friends, and on any one of these things. I sit here and talk for a long time. You could probably make a 5-minute video and get a lot more people watching. They see an hour-long video and stuff, and they say, I'm not going to watch that at all. They won't even turn it on. North Korea is eyeing a strategy to dispose of 20 warheads while retaining dozens more. So they want to play games with us. They want to, you know, deceive us and give us a little bit and keep some. I'm sure you got that the first time. Top North Korean officials have discussed the country's intention to deceive the U.S. about the number of nuclear warheads in its possession, including a strategy to potentially declare they have denuclearized after disposing 20 weapons while retaining dozens more, according to a report by the Washington Post. So they're citing Washington Post from this information. Let's see, I'll read a little bit more. Monday's report, citing intelligence gathered by U.S. spy agencies and unidentified officials, also said that there were signs that North Korea is continuing to construct at least one, possibly two, liquid fuel intercontinental ballistic missiles. So this going back to that original information that I was talking about. They're saying they're building more ICBMs. These guys are not stopping anything, and they don't have any intention of giving up anything. And they're saying even if they do, they'll probably try to lie to us and keep some and say they gave it all. The findings include satellite photos taken in recent weeks, indicate that the work was underway at the same time the factory that produced the country's first large ICBM, the Hwasong-15, and that's that big boy right there that can reach all the way to Washington, D.C., across the world. In Sannam-dong, on the outskirts of Pyongyang, according to the report, it said that imagery collected by the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency in recent weeks also pointed to the ongoing work on at least one Hwasong-15 at the Sannam Dong site. So I'm not going to keep reading on that, but you get the point. Over and over, they're saying they're building ICBMs, they're playing games, and things with North Korea are going bad. And here's one talks about North Korea's trashing South Korea about sanctions. We've got sanctions on North Korea, and South Korea is saying we need to keep those sanctions on them, and North Korea's trashing South Korea. Japan's a rock's throw away from North Korea, and they're increasing their defense. And the Aegis system is normally a radar missile interception system for a ship out in the sea, but they've set this thing up on land to try to potentially intercept some of the missiles that North Korea possibly will send their way. And they're saying that the threat hasn't gone away. Sometimes you see mixed reports, but you got to be mature enough to sort through and know what's legitimate or not. Kind of jumping off topic, I made this little picture. I took a bunch of little pictures off the internet and made a little picture, and I do the stuff like that for fun. If you follow me on Twitter, you can see all the little extra stuff that I do that I don't really show on YouTube that often. But in my opinion, America is Babylon, and I believe that New York is the actual great city. In this verse, it's in Revelation 18:10, it says that the great city Babylon, that mighty city. And there's other verses in Revelation referring to it as a city. And I believe it's New York. And I believe it's specifically, it says that, the great city rules over the world. And I believe it's because the UN is established and the UN's main headquarters is in New York. It talks about on many waters, and New York's on the waters out there. So I thought you might find that interesting. I do lots of stuff like that, and lots of Christians on Twitter make pictures like and share it with each other all the time. It's a different platform. It's not like Facebook. Most people on Twitter are mature and adult, and as long as you don't go around picking a fight or getting into one with somebody, you won't get much trouble. It's a smaller platform. There's not as many people on Twitter, but the people that are on Twitter are seeking information, and they're mature. There's some communities on Twitter that's immature, but as long as you stay away from them, odds are they ain't gonna come find you. And there's that video of the hypersonic missile that Russia's got in the capability, in use, and they're showing it off. And they're showing this stuff off to try to intimidate us from doing anything and escalating any conflict. Here's a video, and this is TRT, and this is from Turkey. So I follow lots of different sources, lots of different news agencies from all over the world, and I do that to show you that it's not just left or right in America. Here's a report from South Korea, and I suggest if you're on Twitter to follow these guys. And he's reporting that North Korea is trash talking South Korea, US, and Japan. We quit our military drills with South Korea on the peninsula, but we just did one, and it wasn't the exact military drills we said we were stopping, but it was more involving Japan, and North Korea is not liking that, and they're talking trash because of military drills. This is a different topic. This is Ukraine, and I haven't been into Ukraine very much, but I've been led to start watching it, and I've seen some things. It looks like it might potentially pick back up, and these come out every couple of days or so, and all along the border, Russia has come in and taken this Donbass area, and they're saying that Russia opened fire 40 times and violated the ceasefire, and I believe it says three Ukrainian soldiers were wounded. So every once in a while somebody gets hit. It doesn't seem like they're trying to move the lines, but open up fire like on a daily basis to let you know, like, don't try it. But it's something to watch for. Russia's already, there's a lot of people call that an invasion. Russia's already, according to some people, invaded Europe into Ukraine. Is that not on the verge of World War III? I mean, some people would say it's already started. It's an older conflict that's been there for a while, but it can easily, when they're opening up fire every day, people are getting wounded and dying sometimes. It could easily escalate at any day. They're out there and troops are moving. This is Moscow times. I follow, like I said, everybody all over the world to show you I'm not following just CNN. And you can say, oh, Watchman's a lefty. I don't follow just Fox. And you say, oh, Watchman's a righty. I follow stuff from all over the world to show you it's not about politics with me. I'm trying to watch and show you the wars and rumors of wars, nation against nation, and signs that Jesus is coming soon. Tribulation's about to start. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's something, you know, unless you're unfaithful. As long as you're faithful, these should encourage you that as signs that that's how close we are to Jesus coming. But, you know, if you're unfaithful, this should spark some fear into you that you need to be, you know, repent of whatever it is you're doing. And that just means stop, you know, doing the bad stuff you know is bad. And you know, pray and get right and get ready and be faithful. Faithful like you're faithful, you know, in a marriage. You don't cheat, you know, on your spouse. You want to be faithful to Jesus. And, you know, and how are you faithful to Jesus? I'll pull up a Bible verse for you. Let's see. Jesus said, if you, oh, not typing, blooper. If you love me, keep my commandments. And I'll just show you real fast a Bible verse. I like KJV, and you know, you can read whatever version you read. I'm not saying you have to read KJV, but there it is in the Bible, John chapter 14, verse 15. If you love me, keep my commandments. And those are the red words, you know, Jesus said. Jesus flat out said that. And he says, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you a comforter. So what is he saying? He's saying if you're at the point where you're willing to, you know, be faithful and give up your wicked ways, and you're ready to follow his commandments and live life like God's telling us we have to, then he'll send you the Holy Spirit, a comforter, the Spirit of truth. See right there? So, and that's when you're really saved. When God sends you that Holy Spirit, you're certified. And he's not going to send you the Spirit if you're still playing around. God knows, you know, the end from the beginning. He knows the future. He knows when you're playing with him. He knows that if you're going to sin tomorrow. He's not going to seal you with the Holy Spirit if you're going to sin again tomorrow. When you're ready, he knows it. You might not even realize you're ready, and he'll send the Holy Spirit. But let's jump back on. I'm not going to preach to you. I'm a watchman. I like to throw a little bit of Jesus in there to show you that's what it's about. That's why I'm watching. But I like to keep it a little more casual and let you go to the preachers whenever you want to hear some preaching. But I'll throw some Jesus in there. This is interesting. Turkey is a member of NATO, alliance with United States and Europe and Japan. And it looks like things are getting so bad with Turkey that they have already called to join up with Russia, which this is China and Russia, and become members of the BRIC. And lots of people say it's been a long time coming. They should have kicked Turkey out of NATO a long time ago. So let me scroll through here and here's a different topic. This is Idlib region, and Turkey, just talking about Turkey, has come in the past and taken this region, and they call it Idlib. And I've got a thread going that I've just started for my friends that have been following me, just to give you a little bit of recap on some older information and show you what's going on in the Middle East for a second. For a while, I was following the Dara offensive, and I'm going to show you real fast where they're at on that. I was making gifts on about a daily basis. And for anybody who's new, this is Israel, Golan Heights, Damascus, and Assad's forces, the Iranian forces, and the Russian forces came in and pushed the rebels out of this area. And for, you know, a month or so, it took them to push it out of there. Damascus is right there, the capital of Syria, right here, that close to Israel. And for my subscribers and people that's been following me, they eventually cleared up all the way and got all the area right on the Golan Heights. So now Iran, and I'll show you some more information in a minute, Iran can move all the way in on the Golan Heights. Things got hot, and they ended up, Israel shot down 2 different drones, and Israel actually shot down a Syrian jet and killed a fighter pilot that was in the jet. Things got really hot, but it never escalated into a major conflict, even though it had some tough points. But if I hit this button, it shows you all the activity that's going on right now. And Russia and Assad and the Iranian forces are finishing up taking out an ISIS pocket right there, and they'll be done with the Dara offensive, Dara. And they're saying now that they're done with that, their next objective is to come up here, and they want to take back this area, the Idlib area, that Turkey has taken from a while back. And this is Turkish forces. You can see Turkish control, and then Turkey's got this area too. And if you see here, all these little dots, this guy that makes this map just recently put them up. Russian observation point. So this is a Russian camp, maybe. You know, it's not like a permanent base, but there's a Russian encampment there. And here's an Iranian encampment. And these are Turkish encampments. So Turkey's got the border of this. They're claiming this area. And Russian Assad's coming in with the Iranians. And they're saying, we're going to come take this back. And Turkey has put out reports, and I'll show you if I scroll through my feed and find them, and you can find them for yourself. Turkey has said that they're not for this, and they're basically claiming this area, and they don't want to give it back up. So you can see right here in the red, Assad, Russia, and their alliance has already started dropping shells and shelling the area and trying to come in. Here's a place real close here is Latakia. And Russia's got a base out here, and so they're heavily invested in this area. And there's been drones coming in over towards them, and I believe that, yeah, that's what that's about. Every so often, a drone comes over to the Russian base and they shoot it down. But this is going to be the big show. I don't know if we're even going to be around long enough to watch this play out. It's that serious, and I'll show you why. This place here is important, Tal Rafat or Tel Rafat, and this place here is important, Hama, and let me show you why. This is a report, and they're announcing that they're beginning this offensive, and here's a report, and they're saying that Assad is sending all types of soldiers and troops, and he's sending his army up here, and they're getting ready to take this place. And remember, I said they're going to have a problem taking this place because Turkey says he's not going to let them. So this was the announcement, you know, a couple days ago, that they were going to begin this offensive, just like they had the Dara offensive. As they said, they're already sending the boys up there. As soon as they finish off that little pocket of ISIS, everybody's going to go up there, and this is the new fight. This is going to be the big fight. You know, I thought, and while I'm talking, I'll show you the video here. This is the, you know, convoys of all the soldiers headed up to that area for the last few days now. And, you know, I thought that things were going to really get dirty down there with the Golan, but Israel made a deal with Russia, and they allowed him to take back that area. And other than the 2 drones they shot down and a jet, a Syrian jet they shot down, it got pretty tense, but it looks like it's going to be smooth for now. But it overall it's a bad deal because they're so close to the Israeli border now. It's going to be that much easier for Iran to attack, and they've just recently, a few months back, for the first time ever, attacked the Golan Heights. But so there's a Syrian flag, and you see all those boys headed up there. Here's a report: Russia and Turkey ties face a moment of truth over Syria's Idlib, and that's this region. This whole thread, everything in this thread I'm showing you is all related. I string a thread together for North Korea, string a thread together, and this is the the string that I'm gonna keep working on for this Idlib story. That's an offensive mission that they're doing that's just beginning, and you should get interested in this. Something to watch on a daily basis. But Russia's played both sides. They're really invested in Assad in Syria, and they're really invested in Turkey and Iran. And they're trying to play the big shot in the Middle East now. We've backed out of a lot of the Middle East, and they've come in and become the big middleman. But now things are coming to a conflict between the guys that they're backing. Assad's moving in on Turkey, and Turkey saying, which is Erdogan is the president of Turkey, and they're saying, whose side are you going to pick? Are you going to pick Assad or us? Because he's not going to let them take this Idlib region. He doesn't like it. And here's why it matters to you biblically. I showed you in the past why that Golan is important, and it all comes together even with this story. Jeremiah 49:23 in the Bible, it talks about concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded. And Hamath is what they call today Hama or Hama, depending on how you want to pronounce it. So there's a prophecy, and it's saying, everybody knows Isaiah 17. If most people do, even Christian people that aren't Christians know, Isaiah 17 says Damascus is going to fall. God prophesied thousands of years ago that Damascus will fall. And he also prophesied through Jeremiah about Damascus, obviously still saying it's going to fall, but he's giving a little more details. And he says, Hamath is confounded, and Arpad. And Arpad is this Tel Rafat region I said is very important.
Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.